like, no, hey y'all, Lafia. I appreciate you. No, my bad. Got too excited. Alafia! My name is Oshun. On this channel, we uncover the creepiest, most unusual haunted TikToks the internet has to offer for entertainment purposes. Y'all are my soul tribe. Tribe is with a Y because the Y is for you. And that's because I love you so freaking much. I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I truly do. I do not take your time for granted. So thank you for being here with me. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the Soul Tribe for your weekly dose of supernatural every Sunday and Thursdays. Now let's get to this video.
Do y'all know how fucked up a town gotta be for birds not to be flying? It is 100% silent. You won't see or hear no animals at all, even insects. You can't even tour this motherfucker. There's even been shadows of all different shapes and sizes walking around in the forest. And a lot of people come up missing when they go to this motherfucker. This is the most haunted town in America. It is called the Dudley Town, located in Connecticut. The town became haunted after the Dudley family moved to Connecticut after one of their family members was executed for plotting on King Henry VIII. King Henry VIII executed between 57,000 to 72,000 people, and even 2 of them were his wives. So what in the hell was dude thinking? Why fuck with a real boss, a real king? Now it is unknown exactly what caused the fucking curse. Dudley Town is heavily surrounded by the police because people keep sneaking in and they fucking dying when they go. Wow. This place is not worth the fucking fame. Your life is more valuable. Have a nice day.
Tell me, what's the creepiest experience you ever had in your life and why you still think about that moment?
One of the scariest things that ever happened to me happened while I was in college at UC Davis. I was working at Abercrombie & Fitch at Arden Fair Mall at the time when I was in college, and I was actually at the mall for a completely different reason other than work one day. My laptop had kind of shit its pants and I went to go take it in, whatever. As I was leaving, this man approached me. And as females, we're kind of used to having men approach us. It's not that big of a deal. You just say, don't bother me, and they're usually on their way. But there was something about this man's presence that had me frozen in fear. I had never, and still to this day, have never experienced anything like that before. I can't remember exactly what he said. It was nothing threatening, nothing super intimidating. I think he was just like, oh, what's your name? Like, why are you here? Something like that.
Should I start adding background music?
But for some reason, something had just a pit in my stomach just being in this man's presence. And I gunned it into the nearest store by the exit. And I called my dad immediately and I said, there's a man that has approached me. There's something about him that's not right. I just need you to be on the phone with me until I can get to my car. I get into my car, lock the door, get home, forget all about it. Then 2 weeks later, I am working a shift at Abercrombie on a completely different day, completely different time. This time it's a closing time. And I am leaving the store ready to go home. There's really no one in the mall. And I'm leaving the store, and in the distance, I see a man sitting on a bench. When I get close enough to realize who it is, it's too late. He's already making eye contact with me, and it's the same man that gave me that horrible pit in my stomach a few weeks prior. This scared me so badly for a few reasons. One, there was no one there. There was no one in this mall, really, besides like the few employees that were probably still closing up their stores, but there was like literally no one in this mall. It was empty. There's no reason why he should have been sitting there. And it just seemed like he was sitting there waiting for me. And that scared me because how did he know where I worked? How did he know I was going to be there at that time? And why is he sitting here waiting for me? What are his intentions? After this, things get even scarier than I could have.
Malls are so empty now.
But unfortunately, I'm going to have to do a part 2 and explain
Of course,
that.
bitch.
The man I hooked up with shouldn't
Not
exist.
calling her a bitch.
It started as a
joke.
one-night thing. I wasn't looking for anything serious, just a little fun, a little escape. I met Ethan at a bar. He was gorgeous, tall, dark-eyed, the kind of man who made you forget your own name when he looked at you the right way. He bought me a drink, leaned in close, and whispered, "You should come back to my place." I didn't even think twice. His apartment was in a high-rise downtown, sleek and expensive, the kind of place that made you wonder what he did for a living, but I didn't ask. I was too distracted. The night was intense. He knew exactly what to do, what to say, how to touch me in ways that made my head spin. It was like he knew me better than I knew myself.
They say the devil wears Prada.
I must have blacked out at some point. Not from drinking, just from exhaustion.
Suck your soul out that pussy.
His side of the bed was cold. I reached for my phone. No texts. No missed calls. When I checked my location history, something was weird. It said I'd never been there. Confused, I got up and looked around for my clothes. That's when I noticed something was off. There were no pictures of us on the walls, no personal items, not a single trace cast of him. I found my purse on the counter and grabbed my keys, heart racing. Before I left, I checked the front door just to be sure. There was no unit number on it, just a blank space where one should be. I hurried to the elevator, trying to shake the feeling crawling up my spine. When the doors opened, a man in a suit stepped out, probably a neighbor. I blurted out, "Hey, do you know the guy in 1408? His brow furrowed. There is no 1408. I turned back to the hallway, and the door I had just walked out of was gone.
Bruh. What?
Right.
That was a good story.
So, this is a memory. And to this day, I can't explain what happened this night. So, I'm a kid.
Y'all know who she's holding?
6. I want to say I'm like 5 or 6. I'm really young. And around this time is when my mom, she met my stepdad. So I started staying at his cousin's house a lot. And his mom's house. I used to stay at his mom's house, which I call her grandma, whatever. And all his cousins. So there's going to be a quick story. So one day, I think we're at their mom's house, if I'm not mistaken, or their older sister's house. We're somewhere. To be honest, I don't even remember. A lot of that time in my childhood was kind of a blur because of certain stuff that was going on. But I definitely do remember all of them. Like, I remember being with them. And I think this night we were at their mom's house, not my grandma's house. So we're sleeping all the way in the back room. The back room is a bedroom, and it has a bathroom attached to it. That's important. Okay. So remember. Okay, boo. We're sleeping on the floor. If you know, you know. When you go sleep over your cousin's house, whatever, like, y'all sleep on the floor. Everybody. Put out y'all got an air mattress, y'all got thick quilts, whatever y'all got, blankets. Y'all spread it out on the floor, and we just
dug it out.
So, I don't know what time it was, but for some reason, whenever I think about this memory, I feel like the clock said 3 a.m. or 3:30 a.m. All I hear is like loud stomping, but like right next to me though. There's no possible way that anybody could have been stomping to the point where it sounds like stomping, because we had our quilts and stuff laid out. So it's like, how could you be like, it would have been cushioned is what I'm trying to say. Right. It sounded like just stomping, like no cushion to it. I'm looking around, nobody's moving. So it's like I'm the only one who's hearing that shit. Everybody is knocked out, bro. Like, everybody. I start hearing stuff in the bathroom, like, moving around, the toilet flushing. Nobody used the bathroom. Like, stuff is happening, y'all, and nobody's moving. Like, it's like I'm the only one hearing everything. Right. When I tell y'all, I'm trying to force myself to stop hearing all this stuff. Like, I clenched my eyeballs so tight. My eyeballs could have disintegrated. Ow! Right. That's how true it was. My eyelashes got caught onto my other eye. My eyeballs could have disintegrated into the back of my head, how tight I was holding my eyes. So, yo, I'm so serious. I clenched my eyeballs so tight trying to, like, bro, I was trying to tell myself, like, bro, you're dreaming. Like, this is a dream. Why? Y'all know what it is. Word of my mother. Why?
Word of my mother.
I opened my eyes for a half a second like that to look in front of me. Why there's big ass boots walking past my face, bro. Word to my mother, bro. big ass boots. Like, when I retold this story, the boots that I thought, like, the boots that it looked like was, like, worker boots. Like, boots that they be wearing. Like, if you ever seen an MTA worker, but the ones that work on the tracks, those are big-ass boots that they make them wear. That's the type of boots that it looked like big-ass boots, and they had the suit on to match. They looked like they was, like, them underwater people. Y'all watch SpongeBob? Y'all know that big-ass boot that be in some of the episodes? It looked like that type of, like, what? It looked like a boot, and he had a suit on. And he walked past my face. Like, I didn't see him. I seen his big-ass boot, his legs, and that's about it, because I was about to look up at him.
Okay.
Like, look, I'm like that. I go like that. My eyes felt like that. I was like... I was in shock. I was in terror. I was scared as fuck. Did I pee on myself? I don't know. I don't remember. I ain't never stood so still in my life.
She said, did I pee on myself?
I ain't never stood so still in my life. He walked away. It sounded like, cause like I ain't look. It sounded like he walked towards the bathroom, and then I ain't hear no more walking no more. It felt like an eternity. Bro. I don't remember if I fell asleep right away. I just know I laid there, and then I felt light on my face, and I looked up, and it was morning. I told everybody this story. Once we woke up, I was like, bro, y'all not even gonna believe this. But because we cousins, and we always messing around, the older ones trying to scare the little ones trying to get back at the older ones, they did not believe me. I told my grandma, she was like, you was probably dreaming. I'm like, do y'all really think that do you not see the terror? I'm scared. I refused. I remember, one thing I do remember is I refused to go back to that house. That was not my grandmama's house. That was their mama house. I refused to go back to that house after that. Cause one thing about it, we do have an uncle who's heavy set, and he do work. They was trying to tell me that I probably seen him walking. Why would he be walking in the room at 3:30, 3 a.m. in the morning in his work clothes? Why would he be doing that? Y'all need to start listening to kids when they tell y'all stuff. Do you know how angry that made me? I'm like, I think I would know if Uncle Raymond was walking through this damn room at 3 a.m. Right. The leg looked ghostly, okay? It didn't look solid. It didn't look with color. That shit looked ghostly, okay? I know that wasn't my Uncle Raymond foot. Y'all need to start listening to the kids, okay? But yeah, that's my story time for today. Yeah, my bad. I've been gone for like a couple of days. I've been getting my life together. Stay tuned for that. But I love y'all. Mwah.
I used to work in a morgue for 10 years, and the weirdest, scariest thing I ever saw was this one cadaver, as we call them, a body basically. It was my job to clean them up and make their faces clean the blood off, make them look presentable for their families to identify them, you know, if there's been a major trauma.
Oh, wow. That's a
and this
crazy
one
job.
Cadaver, I noticed her eye was twitching, so I lifted the lid, and there was a fucking maggot in there. Oh. A live maggot, so obviously you can't have that. So I got the tweezers. I tried to get in there, but the maggot was trying to embed itself further in. Or I was doing that, and the maggot was trying to embed itself under the eye. So I had to go and get it, and I was literally an inch away from this lady's face, like that, trying to get this fucking maggot. All of a sudden, her mouth slowly opened like this, as wide as it can go, like that. And I was like, what the fuck? And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she went, and I'm not kidding you, I fucking legged it out of that room. I never knew a noise like that could come from another human being, especially a fucking dead one. Legged it out.
Right, that's making my
got
eyes
a superior,
watering.
Came back, and she was normal again. The maggot was still there. We had to get the maggot out, but that's quite normal actually. But her mouth was closed, and she was just lying there. My boss wouldn't believe me. She sent me home. Thought I was fucking drunk or on drugs. Never went back.
I know
Never
that's
went back
right.
to work.
Hell no.
I worked there 10 years. And I've spoken to people, I've spoken to doctors since, then, and none of them believe me. They say you must have seen something else, because that is physically, biologically impossible.
How long
a dead
was
body
she supposed
cannot
to be
do that.
dead for?
But I know exactly what I saw. It fucking haunts my dreams. I have nightmares about it.
Oh, wow.
It's something that I can't ever unsee.
That's amazing.
Imagine trusting the system to protect you, only to find the real danger locked inside with you. This is Karen White, the predator who infiltrated a women's prison under the guise of identity and shattered lives in the process. Born Stephen Terrence Wood, Karen White already had a horrific criminal past. Essay, indecent exposure, even the grape of a pregnant woman. Yet when arrested in 2017 for stabbing an elderly neighbor, White self-identified as female and was placed into a women's prison without proper background checks. Inside HM Prison Newhall, the nightmare escalated. White saw 2 female inmates using charm and manipulation to lower guards. Victims were left traumatized, attacked in the very place meant to keep them safe. In 2018, White was sentenced to life for 2 counts of grape, essay, and grievous bodily harm. Karen White's case forced the UK prison system to rethink everything about transgender inmate placements.
Whatever you do,
that's a deep topic.
Don't pull over at night. Last night I was driving home from a family reunion, and it was pretty late. The drive back was about 2 hours long. Most of the drive was on roads with dense bushes and tall trees on either side. You know, the real creepy ones you see in a lot of movies. Yeah, I know. I should have known. But anyways, I had been driving for about 45 minutes, and I started getting really tired. You know how it goes. The big yawns, and then the droopy eyes. I knew I wasn't going to last, but I tried to push through, I swear, for as long as I could, which honestly was only for another 15 minutes. That's when I started swerving, and I knew I had to pull over to at least take a power nap so I wouldn't be a danger to myself and to others while on the road. The road I was driving on wasn't necessarily completely empty. Like, I would see a car go by every 20 minutes or so I wasn't completely alone. I don't know if that made me feel better or worse about pulling over, but all I knew was that I needed to. So that's what I did. I pulled over to the side of the road, onto the grass.
This is a long
next
story.
To what appeared to
about
be
10
an
minutes.
endless sight of tall trees. Honestly, it was so relaxing, seeing the moonlight seep through the cracks. I locked my car, reclined my seat, and before I dozed off, I made a mental note of the time. 11:57. Then off to sleep I went. Sometime later, I was awoken by, I want to say, a moaning sound of some sort. I don't really know, and I don't know where it was coming from, but I opened my eyes right away, and I locked my eyes on the radio clock, which read 12:35 a.m. As soon as my eyes adjusted, the sound stopped. Something still felt off, though, but I was extremely tired, and my car was locked, and I was safe from animals. I should have trusted my gut looking back. I should have just left then and there, but I was tired, and I fell back asleep. Then later on, I was awoken by the same sound, except this time, I knew exactly where it was coming from. It was louder than before, and it was coming from the back of my car right under the trunk. I shot up right away, and I looked at the time, adjusting my eyes. It was 1:56 a.m. It was so late, I thought. I tried to look at the rearview window, but it was foggy. All my windows were foggy. My heart was pounding at this point, and I was so confused. The moan grew louder, and I wasn't going to stick around to find out. So I quickly took out my keys, but my adrenaline caused me to fumble. I let out a little yelp. Shit, 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 shit. Whatever was moaning heard me and stopped, and now knew I was finally awake, and so it began to climb on the roof of my car. I caught a glimpse of its back legs through my foggy window as it climbed onto my roof, indenting my car roof on its way towards my hood. I turned on my car and I floored it, and I got the hell out of there, hearing whatever was on my roof flew off, and on its way off let out an angry sort of growl.
Oh, wow.
I was probably going 100 down the road. I rolled down my windows to defog, and that's when I saw a car with its hazard lights pulled over to the side. It was probably like, I want to say 2 miles ahead of where I was initially stopped. I see the driver's side fully ajar, causing the car's interior lights to illuminate the whole inside of the car. It was completely empty. I slowed down a bit, but I wasn't going to fully stop. I wasn't stupid, not after exactly what I had just experienced. That's when I heard the most terrifying sound. A woman screamed, and I know what you're thinking. Oh gosh, that's the most terrifying sound. But this wasn't no normal scream. This wasn't something you hear in horror movies. No. This was real. This was a scream filled with pain. I could feel her pain. The scream was so loud that it caused me to scream, and I accidentally slammed on my brakes, causing my car to screech and stopping in the middle of the road right ahead of the abandoned car. Her screams only lasted for about 7 seconds as they
you put your foot on the wrong
pedal
pedal
by the sounds of bones.
Put the pedal to the metal.
I looked at my rearview mirror and I saw a tall figure, probably 7 feet tall, crunched over with long arms and its head tilted to the side, coming out from the woods, and it stopped in the middle of the road. Startled by what I saw, I think I was in shock, and I froze for a few seconds. And then it started sprinting towards me, and I think my body took over, and I floored it once more. And this time, I did not slow down. I didn't even stop for any red lights on the way home. I made it home way faster than ever. This morning, I walked outside, and I found large indents on the roof of my car. And right on the back of my car, right on the bumper of the trunk, was written in dust as someone traced or their fingers or something in the dirt. Wake up.
Oh, hell no.
Wake up. And wake up. I've been checking the news to see if anyone's gone missing or if anything involving what happened last night has been reported, but nothing yet. Did I dream the whole thing? Was it all a panic? I don't know.
Proof is on your car.
How do I explain the indents on my car?
Right.
What happened? All I know is, whatever you do, don't pull over at night.
Duh.
Good night.
Good night, boo. She's a great storyteller.
Let me tell y'all how my little sister's the most evilest little girl on the planet. And I really feel like that girl, despises me. She don't like me. So, a week ago, my grandmother was sick. She was in the hospital. And I wanted to go see her. Mind you, the day I went to go see her, it was pouring down raining. It was a hurricane. So over here, we got bad rain. So prior to all of this, I'm on FaceTime with my grandmother, letting her know that I'm going to come see her. She oh no, just come another day because it's raining real bad out. Being overprotective.
Y'all think I'm too old for that person?
And I'm getting ready and all of that. So my little sister turns to me and
she
was like that. My grandmother said, oh, is Casey on her way? Is she almost ready? Is she still coming? So I'm tell her I'm on the way. I'm about to leave out the door. So then my sister texted her a minute later. My sister tells me that my grandmother says, oh yes, hurry up and come. And when you do come, I need you to come so that you can pay my phone bill. Mind you, way before this, some relatives was already there with her. Her man was there, her daughter was there, her other daughter was there, my cousin was there. So there's many people that she can go tell to go pay the phone bill. Mind you, where I stay at the hospital is very, very far. That's why she told me oh, it's bad weather, just stay at home, just come in another day. So when my sister told me what she said, I'm okay, babe. So it's already a hassle getting there. So I finally got there. I'm soaked in rain and all of that. I call her to see what room is she in because I didn't know the room. She Casey, why are you here? Why did you come? I told you not to come. I'm Ma, we call our little sister Sugar. We call her Sugar. So I'm Ma, Sugar told me that you told me to come pay the phone bill. She was Sugar is lying. I never ever said that. So I get on the phone. I'm calling Sugar. I'm Sugar, why would you tell me that if I come so that I could pay the phone bill. So my sister's like, she did say that, I can show you the messages. Comes to find out, my grandmother texted her and was like, when y'all come next week, I want y'all to come pay the phone bill. And I was so mad because it's like, I was gonna come next week with everybody else because my grandmother wanted me to come with everybody else. She's like, it's bad weather, just come with everybody else next week. So I'm like, okay, maybe she's just misreading. So that's a pass. Y'all, no. Tell me why 2 days ago, right? My little sister, she goes outside to get some food. And I didn't feel like going because I felt sick. And I'm like, okay, I'm just go a little bit later. She comes back in the house. She's like, oh, Casey, if you decide to go get food, you do not have to wear no hoodie. You could just wear a shirt. You don't even gotta wear like a jacket. You could go outside just like how you is. You do not have to wear a jacket. It's so hot outside. Mind you, y'all, the girl got on a coat. So, yeah, just keep that in mind. So, minutes go by, I'm getting ready because I'm just going like down the block to get something to eat. I'm like, sugar, are you sure? Like, I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna be hoping for some good weather because you told me it's sunny outside, it's nice. Yeah, y'all, I get outside and I'm already like halfway down the block. Y'all, tell me why it is freezing outside. It is freezing. Everybody outside is wearing heavy coats and all of that. I call this girl, I'm like, sugar, why would you tell me that I couldn't come outside with a shirt on and a hoodie? It is freezing out here. She's laughing hysterically in the background with my grandmother. I'm like, what is going on? She like, well, it was good weather when I was out there. And you know the weather do change fast. So I'm just like, whatever. Here's the deal breaker, y'all. It's late at night. Evil. And if you know me, I love scary movies, but I'm very scary. Like, I'm very scared of the dark. She knows this. This girl sleeps in the room with me. So, y'all, right before I get ready to turn off the light, because I can't sleep, like, in a room without, like, the TV on. Like, I'm just afraid of the dark. Like, I don't know, like, y'all can say whatever, I'm childish, but I just always been afraid of the dark. So I turn off the light, I'm turning on the TV. Mind you, y'all, just before this, we're both talking about Evil Dead Rise. I'm explaining to her how the movie is so scary to me, and she's explaining to me as to why the movie is not scary. She's like, that movie look AI, like, that movie's not scary. I'm like, sugar, like, I don't know, maybe it's because, like, I put myself in those people's point of views. Y'all just look at the movie and don't think that is scary. I just put myself in those people's point of view. She's like, that movie's not scary, whatever, girl. So I turn like off the light, turn the TV on, and as like, you know, I'm turning the channels and stuff like that, I'm like, I'm just thinking of Evil Dead Rise. I'm like, that movie is like so fucking scary. Like, mind you, it was one period of time where when I turned the TV, it got pitch dark and the TV turned back on. So I'm like, oh hell no. And I look in the corner, I'm like, just don't look over there, there's nothing over there. Like, that's how my mind goes, like, when it's dark in the room. So, girl, I finally got the TV set right for us to go to sleep. But I turn around to my bed. Tell me why this girl is in the middle of my bed, y'all. Sitting Indian style, just smiling. Like, smiling so big. And I scream so loud. And it's like, oh my God, like, my grandmother is right next door to me. So it's like, she got scared and she called. She's like, why y'all doing this? What's going on? And I'm explaining it to her, like, as to why, like, I screamed that loud. Y'all, and this girl is laughing hysterically on the bed. Just
she
laughing. Like, she been planned this. The way how
she
was laughing, it was like, oh my God, like, I finally did this. This is what I always wanted to do. Like, those villains. I don't know. It was so weird. That girl felt so accomplished that she did this to me. Y'all, it was almost like the Joker. Like, when he do something, he laugh because he accomplished it. And it's like, if you know that I'm afraid, why would you do this to me? Like, what is wrong with this girl? I don't know. And it's like, y'all, she is a Gemini.
That's why I agree with her.
I don't know.
Oh my God.
So my aunt told me this story.
Go ahead,
like,
Gemini, baby sister, because I doing the same thing.
The lights on for a little bit. It starts with a woman who lost her husband, and she did not take it very well. So we're going to call the lady who lost her husband, her name is going to be Miriam. We're going to name the husband Ibrahim, because my aunt didn't give me any names. You know, she just said the lady, whatever. So I'm going to give names. So Miriam and Ibrahim, they were always like in love. They were just a perfect couple. Like, everybody kind of wanted to be like them. Like, everybody looked at their relationship as goals. So Ibrahim and Miriam, they're like growing old together. And one day Ibrahim goes out and he meets somebody named Fatima. She was like a younger girl, body T. He was like interested, you know? So now Ibrahim is just looking for excuses to go out the house just to see the girl. And eventually he asks the girl to be his wife. So eventually Ibrahim lets Miriam know who is his original wife. He tells her, I'm going to be marrying Fatima. You know, he's going to have another wife basically. Miriam didn't mind that, you know, he was getting married because she was getting older. And it's not uncommon for men to have 2 wives. So a few weeks goes by after the wedding, and Miriam notices a change in her husband. He's barely talking to her. He doesn't even want to eat her food. Barely wants to look at her. They just don't have that same relationship anymore. And all of his energy is just invested into Fatima, which is his new wife. So Miriam got so tired of this that she ended up going to see a lady that does black magic. She tells the black magic lady that she wants to break the bond between her husband and Fatima. The black magic lady is telling her, are you sure you want to do this because it comes with a price? And she's like, yes, this is what I want to do. The black magic lady told her that the price that it comes with is that if the spell does not follow through how it's supposed to, then it will basically end Miriam. So a few days goes by and Ibrahim's other wife Fatima starts going through some things. She's waking up with scratches on her back, her skin is looking pale, she's having like horrible nightmares. So days are going by and Fatima's just getting worse, and the worse that she's getting, the more in love Ibrahim is to her. Like, he's just there for her, he wants to help her, he's like protecting her. So of course this is making Miriam mad. So the more jealous and angry Miriam is, the worse the attacks on Fatima are. And now Fatima's back is just getting severe. Now she's screaming while she's sleeping. Now everyone thinks she's like going crazy, but she keeps saying someone is like after her, someone's following her. And on this specific night, Fatima and Ibrahim are sleeping, and in the middle of the night Fatima wakes up like she usually is doing now, because, you know, she's going crazy. She wakes up and she's just not herself. Ibrahim is talking to her. She's speaking in a whole completely different voice. Like, she sounds like something's inside of her. So while Ibrahim is trying to calm Fatima down, he sees a dark shadow like in a corner, and it's basically a shadow of his wife Miriam, but it's not her. So he hurries up and runs to where Miriam's room is, and he sees her there just sleeping, which he's confused about. So now he's like, okay, I see that you're the one doing this black magic on my wife. So as soon as Miriam wakes up, he literally kicks her out the house. He says, I don't want nothing to do with you. Go back home to your family. So she left. So a lot of time goes by and Ibrahim is just trying to help his wife Fatima get better, but she's just getting worse. He tried to go to the doctors. They couldn't help her. So he ended up going to a spiritual healer. So the healer tells Ibrahim that Fatima is being visited by someone who has passed on but still hasn't left. So Ibrahim then travels to go confront Miriam. So it took Ibrahim a while to get to where Miriam was at because they lived far from each other at this point. And when he finally arrived, he found out that she had just passed a few days ago. And that night when he went back home, he couldn't go to sleep because, you know, he lost his ex-wife, and he woke up again to Fatima screaming, and this time he sees a clear figure of Miriam just staring at him. So a couple days goes by, but every day that he tries to go to sleep, he's seeing Miriam every night. So of course this is stressing him out, so he goes back to the healer again. The healer tells him that Miriam did not go away peacefully and she has a lot of resentment, and this is basically why Ibrahim and his wife Fatima are suffering. They ended up performing a cleansing which stopped him from seeing the figures. As the years goes by, Fatima is no longer talking. She's not communicating with people. She's just mentally not the same person. So Ibrahim ends up becoming depressed because, his wife is mentally unstable now. And that's the rest of the story. So men, don't get two wives. Stick to one wife.
Does anyone else remember the terrifying story of Carmen Winstead? Carmen Winstead was just a teenage girl that was trying to make friends at her new school. Her dad had recently lost his job, so he and Carmen relocated to Indiana so that he could find a new place of work. This was difficult for Carmen, as it would be for most 17-year-olds, and as a result, she found her first year at this new school to be pretty challenging. But then, she was befriended by a group of 5 other girls in her class. They all appeared pretty nice, but Carmen would soon discover that these girls had been gossiping about her behind her back and spreading rumors about her. One of these rumors that this group of girls had started was that Carmen was sleeping with the school's janitor. This ultimately damaged her reputation at school, so now she not only lost these 5 girls that she thought were her friends, but also any other chance to make new friends. Carmen summoned up the strength to confront the girls that were fabricating these horrible lies about her, but this just led to even more bullying. In response to Carmen's attempt to stand up for herself, the girls started calling her names, and they even broke into her locker and ruined her personal items. Carmen was really hurt by this and didn't know what else to do, so one day she stayed after class and told her teacher about the relentless bullying she had been experiencing. The next day after lunch, there was a fire drill scheduled. As the students gathered outside and the teachers began doing roll call, Carmen was seen by a sewer opening with the 5 girls that had been tormenting her. The girls thought it would be funny and embarrassing to Carmen if they pushed her down the sewer drain in front of the entire class. So they circled around her and pushed her into the opening of the sewer. As Carmen fell into the sewer opening, one of the girls shouted, "She's in the sewer," in an attempt to get attention and embarrass Carmen. The teacher rushed over to the opening, and when they looked inside, they saw Carmen standing still with her head turned to one side. The police were called, and when they arrived, they saw that Carmen's face had been completely torn off during the fall, and her neck had been broken. Everyone involved was questioned, and the 5 girls claimed that Carmen had just fallen into the opening all on her own. Because of this, the case was closed and classified as an accident. A few months later, strange posts from an unidentified person started appearing on the MySpace profiles of all of the students that went to Carmen's school. The posts were saying that Carmen's death had not been an accident. Those responsible for Carmen's death were given a window of opportunity to confess to authorities or face dire consequences. And these 5 girls never turned themselves in. Instead, each one of them were found dead, one by one, after they refused to accept responsibility for their actions. Carmen's spirit continued to haunt the internet by sending chain mail that stated that if the receiver didn't spread the word about the horrible things those 5 girls did to her, they too would suffer the same fate. Whoever didn't forward the email or repost her message would begin to hear laughter coming from their sink, the shower drain, or the toilet. They would go to sleep that night only to wake up in a sewer, terrified and completely paralyzed. Then, as they screamed in horror, Carmen would come and tear their face off, just like what had happened to her.
Bruh, what the fuck? Was that true? Was that a real story? Or was that a bunch of bullshit? Because that was a really good story, okay? And they got what they deserved. Like, I hate, with a passion, I hate bullies. I hate bullies. Like, I hate bullies. Like, it may not look like it, but baby, I was bullied once upon a time when I was younger. And I don't like that shit. And once I blossomed into the swan, honey, I was on bullies' asses in high school and middle school. I did not play that. And you don't want to play with me because what's up? Let's get it. Yeah, I don't like bullies. Just like I say all the time, it is free to be kind. Literally. Not nice. Nice is gestures. Nice don't mean you're a kind person or a good person. You're just being nice. Kindness is free. Kindness comes from the heart, comes from the soul. It's genuine. It's easy. But you reached the end of another video. I appreciate y'all per usual. I appreciate your time. I do not take it for granted whatsoever. It'll be like my hair. But that's it, y'all. I'm gonna catch you on the flip side. You already know what to do with it. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and give it to everybody that you know. Your auntie, your nephews, your nieces, your uncles, your daddy, your mama, your pap, your grandmama, your goddaughter, your dog, the dog's breeder, everybody, okay? Thank you. Sharing is caring, and it's free. All right, y'all. Thank you for your support. If you want to help out, you can send $1 to the Cash App, or you can just share the channel. I'm outie 5,000. Ashe.
Over my third eyes on my way. I'm up on my one line, being the man. She on my body.